The following is a channel transmission of Archangel Michael through Riley. She was facilitated into a shamanic journey, in which case she connected to the sentient consciousness of Archangel Michael and began channeling Michael's presence through herself as a conduit, meaning he began speaking through her to myself in answer to the questions we had laid out as intentions to her journey. So the following messages and shared transmission is the edited version of her shamanic journey to exclude anything that was too personal to her. However, many of the perspectives that we gained were relevant to humanity, which is why we are sharing this, in which case both Michael and Riley have given permission for this material to be shared with you now. So I hope you enjoy. Also, if you are interested in pursuing a shamanic journey of your own to explore what may be possible for you, visit www.wholistic-vitality.com.
It feels like there's also some kind of masculine energy, like blues and purples. It's now in front of me, and I am seeing a face. It feels like Angel Michael.
So let's ask and see if they can clarify. Who are you connecting to? Ask them their name. What may I call you, or who are you?
Who are you? What may I call you?
Let's see what they respond.
Archangel Michael.
It is Archangel Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about the Sophia Dragon Tribe, as I know I've recently embarked upon more of that with the Sophia Code channelings.
The Sophia Dragon Tribe is a collection of many ascended masters, not only feminine ascended masters. They are the ascended masters of the Sophia, Christ consciousness, the womb, and being of all creation.
And what is her role with this, or perhaps those of us that are being introduced to that, like myself as well? What is the role of working with the Sophia Dragon Tribe?
The Sophia Dragon Tribe is here to remind humanity of their sovereign power to create worlds and to live in their highest timelines, to love and be heart-centered.
Was there a reason that therefore she's here now and that I felt compelled to offer this session to her?
Yes. Yes, she is here to receive assistance to getting into these meditative states to become a pure channel. But that is also part of her path, is channeling the divine knowing of ascended masters, angels and guides, and also of her higher self. You helped her to get into a state where she is fully conscious and also allowing another energy, myself, to channel words of love, truth, and light through her for the good of all.
Can you speak about what, therefore, humanity has been going through and where we're heading?
Humanity has been going through a dark night of the soul, you could say. Humanity is here to experience polarity, to experience a full spectrum of emotions to then find gratitude in being able to live in their hearts once more, to be able to be able to live in their hearts and create a reality that is once more a golden age of love and light, abundance, oneness, and to use the wisdom of love in a more wise way than it once was.
Now, I know with Mary, who's been channeling Michael from the Galactic Federation, we've gone down some many rabbit holes, but we haven't had any updates as to, I guess, what's going on in especially our perspective of reality in that transition to head there. And so I know that there is also a lot of questions regarding, our idea of what's going on with, the virus and politics and Trump. And in fact, Riley, who's channeling this, mentioned she even had a dream with Trump seeming to want to recruit her for remote viewing. So can you kind of give us a summation or detail kind of what is going on in this time where I feel like so much is hidden from view with all the censorship and what have you?
This time was necessary to help in the awakening of many souls. It acted as a catalyst to bring information that has been hidden from humanity so that humanity may witness the darkness that exists in their world and to help transcend and uplift that energy. As of now, they are on a very high timeline and on a good trajectory to be activating the golden age of light. There is a lot of information. And the best thing you can do is visualize the world that you wish to see. Do not get too caught up in the narrative. And to know that regardless of timeline shifts, your soul is safe and will always return to the love, will always experience love, will always be love. As far as Trump contacting Riley, these entities are seeking desperate help in keeping the narrative and keeping the control of humanity. And they prey on psychic beings. They prey on psychic beings to scare them into using their energy in a way that is not serving of them or humanity, and to do this by trickery, by seemingly wanting to do good, but playing into the narrative of control and drama is not serving humanity. The constant influx of information that is coming from outside of the self is not serving at this time.
So do you feel like that dream that she had, even with the Trump one, was more of a psychic attack.
Yes.
So perhaps that's why she felt questioning of that experience.
Yes. She was curious because she wanted to do good and is under the impression that Trump is trying to do good. And while he may be trying to do some good, there are still shadow aspects of control
That he's trying to infiltrate.
control that is manipulative, misleading, not serving of the highest timeline of humanity.
So if Riley is meant to be this channel, what messages, as we are recording this, and do we have permission to share this message with humanity?
Yes, you have permission.
What message would you like for us to get out to humanity besides what you just relayed there?
Humanity must know that they are sovereign creators of their own reality. And when they consciously or unconsciously play into and interact with the programs and narratives of this world, they begin to shift timelines that state that other beings are in control of what they experience, of what rules and laws govern them, to help in the ascension of this planet. Humanity is being asked to come into silence, to watch what they are intaking via the media, via the consumption of low vibrational foods that were made from the suffering of souls, including the manufacturing of food, the slaughtering of animals. To take time to come in to silence, and create coherence within the body, mind, and heart. To be aware of when their mind is governing them and twisting the reality because of external information.
Can you speak on the children that many of us have become or made aware of what's been happening to them, and also regarding the status of those rescues?
There has been action to intervene in the harvesting of children's energy and to intervene in the way that free will has been manipulated on this planet to keep children in a karmic loop of torture and enslavement for the temporary power and bodily sensations and pleasure that it brings these beings. These beings prey on psychic children because they understand that the psychic children are here to uplift the vibration of the earth. And many of these psychic children have been caught in a karmic loop because of the laws that govern this earth into experiencing this pain over and over again because it was not cleared fully or forgiven fully. There have been beings that have infiltrated Earth, taken over beings, human beings, that have acted out atrocities amongst many, but we are talking about the children here. And the awareness of what is happening has helped to catalyze action taken to bring justice to the wrongdoing. There are people in the seen and unseen realms who are working now to handle this. And for those of you who are not on the front lines or working in the unseen realms currently, it's best to just do your best to send love to what is happening and not send hate to the abusers, to not let your mind run with the hate. They feed on the lower vibrations of hate and anger, even towards them.
Makes sense. Now, Riley even mentioned she's had dreams where she was rescuing children, and I actually know many individuals, including in my family, who have also experienced this to some extent. And I think I've actually experienced this as well. Now, you mentioned it happening in the unseen realms. Are people participating in this in their dream state, in these rescues?
Yes, there has been human beings who have been put on a mission to work in the astral realms where some of these beings operate. Yes, people are doing work in their dreams. Sometimes the dream space can actually be real space. Sometimes the dream space in which people think that their consciousness is the one saving children, that actually they are in the consciousness of another who is on the forefront of saving children, and that they in this are experiencing the oneness and connectedness of all through the superconscious mind of humanity.
I guess while we're in the talks about dream space, I know Riley was inquiring about what she needs to understand about the dream space in her relationship to it as well. And the fact that she feels that she can visualize so vividly and what relationship that plays in how she may be of service.
The dream space can be used to manifest your highest reality. It can be used to get insights into the subconscious mind. It can be used as a channel for intuitive knowing, for psychic readings, for psychic seeings, and it can be used, in Riley's case, to remote view where children are being held, to pass this information to the people that are on the ground rescuing these children. She has not been exposed to this yet, and it may be some time until she is working closely with them in this way. But this is in her future if she so chooses. She is starting to lose focus, as this is the first time she has channeled such high frequencies through her body.
Now, Riley's been experiencing a lot of neck pain. What is the causation of that, as she's questioning if it has some kind of energy reason? And she also mentioned something about feeling like she was stabbed in the back area. So I'm not sure if that's all connected to what happened to her at 4, or if there's other attributes there.
There has been many psychic attacks lately, and this happened to Riley during her sleep. She was more susceptible because of what she was going through the week before and the self-loathing and information that she was taking in about child pedophilia and other dramas that are happening in this world that left her feeling sad and not as high vibrational, which then attracted in psychic entities that caused disruption in her body.
Is there anything you wish to share as to regarding some of the traumas she's experienced in her life as far as her relationships to her family and how they were not able to be a support for her and were often absent or had their own issues?
Riley is aware that she chose to come in to that family system to learn certain things. She understands that they are all on their own path. And she does not hold any resentment towards her family for not being there for her, because she now knows, and her higher self has known, that she chose to come into that family dynamic.
Why would she have chosen that family dynamic? What was she to get from that choice? Or what was she supposed to accomplish with that choice?
It taught her to love others unconditionally, often as a child when she would be sad because of abandonment or promises unkept. She learned that it was best to come into a loving, accepting vibration. She also was there to hold space for the processings of her family, which was unconscious mostly at the time, but the energy that she brought in with her assisted her family in ways that she may not fully understand yet, but they were in positive ways just by them being around her. Whenever a being is in a coherent space, it helps to uplift the vibration to those around them.
If she's had this guidance, and I know I want to go back to, I know the trauma, we don't have to go into the details, but why have those experiences not been prevented by the light? Why is it those experiences are happening to children, and that there was not an intervention to prevent it if there's this assistance from the higher realms?
Certain beings signed up to have certain experiences, sometimes to reach higher states of consciousness and bliss. For some beings, they sometimes feel it is necessary to experience a full spectrum of experience to come into gratitude for the reality that is available to them, in which they can live in harmony, bliss, love, abundance. There are reasons that beings of higher consciousness cannot intervene on the earth plane. Sometimes some of those reasons are for free will.
Did Riley know on a soul level that that's what she was going to encounter before this lifetime?
Yes.
And what would have been her reasons for still choosing that? For her specifically.
To witness the work that needs to be done on this planet as a high vibrational incarnate. To overcome anger and resentment towards the predators that walk here.
But the reality we are creating as a humanity in the direction of the golden age will no longer have that energy around, correct? Or am I?
There is a timeline in which there will be a potential split of realities. Some beings will still operate in low vibrational frequencies where darkness resides. Some beings can move into a space where that is not part of their reality.
Now, I think I've listened to some other channelings kind of referencing this. And my question would be like, okay, so say you're in a family dynamic and, not that say your partner is, they're still a good person, but they're very much okay with the 3D reality of things and may not be choosing to, as I guess the term goes, ascend. What happens if the other partner does choose to ascend? What happens in that timeline split in those relationships?
When a relationship is no longer serving, it will transition. And while the dynamics may change, that person may leave or stay, and just a dynamic will shift. There is a progression of this with each lifetime. And sometimes the soul that is moving towards the higher timeline and reality is there to assist and sometimes be assisted by the person who is choosing to be in the 3D. Souls progress at different rates and may experience lifetimes that are more in the 3D longer than those who have walked beside them.
So does that mean the shift is going to occur in our lifetime, or is this just what we're seeding for future lifetimes?
It is already happening. Some people are experiencing heaven on earth reality now and choosing to not engage with the narrative that is being spun here on earth now. This is also a progression over time. The timeline right now shows a major shift in 2023.
So that those that are experiencing the heaven on earth, that's because they have shifted what they are creating to experience that more directly. So they are not being affected by the programming to affect their reality of what they're experiencing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. It's a coexisting of realities, but some beings are choosing and have done work to be focused on creating their own reality, regardless of the false narratives that are being spread through the media.
I think how to reconcile with that perspective, but also taking into account the catalyst to have gotten people to awaken, which is having to realize what has been existing here. And, is it for some just to bypass that knowing, just to stay in the high vibrational space? Or are those individuals meant to know what's been going on that darkest space so that they can shine their light brighter?
It is a combination of both and unique to each soul. Some souls are meant to still be viewing that. Some souls are meant to have viewed that and chose not to let it consume them. Some souls have seen it and been able to take action. And the souls that are moving to a more high vibrational realm are choosing to focus on creating their reality in love, bliss, and freedom.
Thank you. Do you have any messages that you wish to offer me in my path as well, and what's unfolding, or what I'm participating in creating?
I thank you for doing this work here. You are on a very high timeline, and the work you are doing is helping many people, including those who are not on your table. And while you are being exposed to the trauma of others, as you know, just keep visualizing the world in which you wish to live, and do your best to have compassion for the evil that resides on this earth.
Do you think I've been doing an okay job with balancing that, as of late anyhow?
Yes, and it is always good to keep striving to move into more high vibrational states, especially because of the work that you do and the effect that that may have on you when hearing the traumas of others.
And so it's still in alignment with me to help serve others in that way, or does it mean in order to be in that high vibrational space, I need to shift how I serve?
As of now, the way in which you are serving is in the highest for you. While it may shift as humanity shifts, the people that you are helping now are at the vibrational level in which it is necessary to work through trauma, to acknowledge trauma. I want to remind you all that help is here if you ask. Guidance is here if you ask. And that you are loved. You are assisted in so many ways. And that you have the power to create your heart's desires with integrity. and ease.
And then Riley, do you have anything else you would like to inquire that we haven't already covered? I'm trying to think of.
There's been a lot of telepathic communication. I also feel my energy and focus wearing down because there's just like a lot of energy like moving through my body.
Okay.
I feel very grateful. Michael helped me to open to letting his voice come through, and when my mind would start to want to answer, like there was a gentle hushing, but not in like a like harsh way at all. It was just like, okay, just breathe for a second, feel the silence, and then it like came back through. I could feel myself near the end, like wanting to keep the energy, and he was like, we can stop whenever you want. Just like let me know. It's
like what you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that being said, did you have any last questions or anything that you wanted to touch base on that I did not cover here?
I feel pretty clear, and I now I feel like now that I've tapped into this energy of channeling, there will be like more direct communication for if other things come up. And he's like telling me that there's a refinement that needs to happen, because there was a few times whenever his voice and my voice were mixing up. So maybe like one word was his and one word was mine. But he's saying that like it's still like aligned, or he would have shut off the channel. And there was a couple of times I kind of felt like he was leaving, and then it would like come back whenever I centered again.
So that's going to be learning for you to learn to harness that in your path. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
It's definitely a very tangible feeling, versus like I've communicated with spirits on medicine and in my dreams, and have felt beings and angels before, but there's never been super direct communication in that way.